Welcome everyone to Marvel Hub. This is DK Dynamite, and today we have some apparent leaks for Phase 4 of the MCU thanks to Claus Logan Ward, who shared this article over on the Marvel Studios Spoilers Reddit. And this article comes from thehashtagshow.com, and this article features some details about Phase 4, which are apparently credible because they're supposed to be coming from some reliable sources. But as I always say with leaks, take this with a grain of salt. We have no idea if this is true. But for the first key detail here, for Black Panther 2, Killmonger will apparently appear in the spiritual plane. The film will feature Queen Divine, Justice, and it will be political. So I feel like the latter is definitely inevitable for Black Panther 2, but in terms of Killmonger appearing in the spiritual plane, that's a pretty cool fan theory that I feel like really works. So it could have easily been fabricated for the sake of this leak, but we then have a detail for Shang Chi. The Mandarin is rumored to be Shang Chi's father, Donnie Yen perhaps, since Donnie Yen is rumored for a role in Shang Chi, but is not rumored for the role of Shang Chi himself. Instead is being rumored for an unidentified role, which could easily be the real Mandarin in the MCU. We then have Doctor Strange 2 with Christine Palmer, Wong, Mordo, and the Ancient One reappearing in the MCU. Lord Nightmare will be the villain. Mordo will be a complex, sympathetic antagonist like Loki. Clea and Brother Voodoo will appear. Asian actresses eyed for Clea. Parts of the movie will be set in the 180s. I believe this person meant 1980s, but I could be wrong. We then have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The High Evolutionary will be the main villain and Rocket's creator. Rocket will fall in love with another of the High Evolutionary's experiments, Lylla. Drax will find out that his daughter is still alive somehow. Star-Lord and Nebula will become closer as they search for Gamora. Thor will be in the movie and meet Beta Ray Bill, who might be another of the High Evolutionary's experiments. Quasar and Adam Warlock will also be rumored to appear, with Zac Efron reportedly eyed for Adam in the MCU. So this really does coincide with some previous Guardians 3 rumors we covered on the channel a couple of weeks ago, but the fact that Drax's daughter could be alive is crazy to think about, and we have heard about Star-Lord and Nebula becoming closer. We heard about that before, and the fact that Thor is appearing is very exciting. Could definitely set up some big cosmic threats for the future of the MCU with Beta Ray Bill, whose origin appears to be a little bit different than his origin is in the comics. So a lot to look forward to when it comes to Guardians 3. We then have Disney Plus leaks. We have Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, and Hawkeye in development for Disney Plus, but the characters will still feature in the movies. The X-Men and Fantastic Four will not appear until Phase 5. We then have a detail for Loki, an anthology chronicling how Loki shaped human historical events. So I'm uncertain as to whether or not this means Loki did cause some crazy historical events to happen, or as to whether or not he changed some of these events in this new timeline he's creating in the multiverse. We then have a detail for Hawkeye. Hawkeye has to come out of retirement again when troublemaker Kate Bishop begins running around claiming to be the new Hawkeye and gets into trouble with the mob. Ends up training her to take his place. Supernatural mobster The Hood and Hawkeye's evil brother Trickshot might appear. So I feel like with many MCU entries, we have Hawkeye coming out of retirement. We have him coming out of retirement in nearly what felt like Age of Ultron. We then had him again in Civil War and again in Avengers Endgame. So I'm sure until he actually dies in the MCU, he'll be coming out of retirement quite often. So we then have another detail about Falcon and the Winter Soldier, with Falcon and Bucky having to work together with a new government-sanctioned Captain America to stop terrorists from destroying the United Nations. New Cap eventually goes psycho and they have to stop him. Seems like it'll lead to Sam becoming the new Cap after all. So it almost sounds like the Sokovia Accords are still in effect even after Avengers Endgame, despite General Ross being at Tony's wedding with what appeared to be lots of fugitives on General Ross's watch. It seems like Sokovia Accords are still in effect to the point where they create their own Captain America, which might end up being the US agent from the comics, and I guess he'll go psycho, and that's when Sam truly holds the mantle of Captain America by the time this show is over. But We then have a detail for WandaVision. Vision gets rebuilt, Wanda tries to give him a soul, and he instead gets possessed by a dark force. Allegedly, it's more of a psychological thriller with a 1950s aesthetic. Wanda and Vision end up living in the suburbs where the neighborhood is racist against Wanda's robosexuality. The witch, Agatha Harkness, might also appear. So the first thing that's interesting about this is the fact that Wanda tries her best to give Vision a soul so that he is the Vision we remember from previous MCU movies, and since her powers are connected to the Mind Stone, she thinks it'll work, but somehow taps into some really dark forces that she didn't even know she had access to, which I'm assuming turns Vision evil or puts her up against a different foe she didn't expect at all. So that's gonna be an interesting plot point, but I also admire the fact that they're going with sort of a political statement here and kind of goes into robosexuality. So even though it doesn't really exist in today's age, I'm assuming that sexuality exists in the MCU. So they're going to be going with a bit of a political stance with the show, but in all just means that people shouldn't be racist towards other people's different sexualities. So it'll be an interesting show, and I really look forward to it since I'm a big fan of Vision's character. But as the article also says, there's a lot of info contained in these leaks. Again, absolutely none of it is confirmed. It will be interesting as Kevin Feige starts to officially release their Phase 4 plans. How much of this ends up more than rumor? This person doesn't appear to have English as one of their native languages, so that's probably why their English is a little broken in this article, but they also said, keep check back to #show for follow-ups and watch for my next article on the leaks coming from the mysterious Roger Wardell Twitter account. So overall, this could all be fake, but this is also coinciding with some previous rumors we've heard before about Phase 4 of the MCU. But let me know what you think of all this down below in the comment section. This has been DK Dynamite. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn notifications on to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Marvel news and information. And peace out, everyone.